Somewhere between midnight and 3 a.m., your body wakes before your mind does. Not from a dream, but from small changes inside your body that quietly wake you up. For years, you may have blamed your bladder, your age, or the stress you carried to bed. But for most people over 60, those awakenings aren't failure. They're simply your body's signals losing their timing. As we age, the hormones that once guided our nights, vasopressin to calm the kidneys, melatonin to quiet the brain, begin to lose rhythm. And when that rhythm slips, your body stops working together the way it used to. The result? Restless nights, early awakenings, and mornings that feel heavier than they should. But the good news is, your body isn't broken. It's just out of tune. And rhythm can be restored, not with pills or strict routines, but with nourishment. Because certain foods can help your body find its rhythm again, naturally. I'm Dr. Jonathan Reed, a physician specializing in geriatric medicine and muscle physiology. And tonight, we'll count down 4 simple bedtime foods that can help your body remember how to sleep again. If restful nights and steady mornings matter to you, please like, subscribe, and tell me where you're watching from, because someone out there needs to know. Their body still remembers how to rest. Every night, your body follows a quiet schedule, a kind of built-in rhythm that keeps everything running while you rest. Your kidneys slow down so you're not waking to use the bathroom. Your brain releases melatonin to tell your nerves it's time to settle. And your liver slowly feeds your brain with stored sugar to keep energy steady until morning. But after 60, that smooth rhythm starts to fade. One of the first things to change is a hormone called vasopressin, the signal that tells your kidneys to hold water overnight. When vasopressin drops, your bladder fills faster, and you wake thinking you simply had to go. But it's not just the bladder, it's the message behind it. At the same time, melatonin levels begin to flatten. Instead of rising sharply after dark, they climb halfway, then drift. So your brain never gets the full night signal. You fall asleep, but your sleep stays light, easy to break. Then comes the most overlooked piece of all, the liver. After 60, the liver's energy reserve, what doctors call glycogen, can shrink by nearly half. That means by 2 or 3 a.m., the brain starts to run low on fuel. When that happens, it sends out an alarm, cortisol, the morning hormone. Your heart beats a little faster, your body warms, and you wake, certain it's morning, even though it's still dark outside. This isn't weakness or insomnia. It's simply a night system out of balance. The body wants to sleep. It just needs the right rhythm of fuel and signals to do it. And here's the hopeful part. You can guide that rhythm back, not by forcing yourself to stay in bed, and not by giving up evening snacks altogether, but by choosing a few gentle foods that refuel the liver, calm the nerves, and steady hormones through the night. Over the next few minutes, we'll count down 4 of them, each one supporting a different part of your night's rhythm. One helps you drift off, one keeps you asleep, one refuels your energy quietly, and one protects that balance until morning. Most people think fruit before bed is a bad idea. Too much sugar, they say. It'll keep you awake. But that's not true for every fruit, especially not for the kiwi. Number 4, kiwi, the natural signal starter. This small, simple fruit has a quiet trick. It helps your brain start the sleep signal naturally. You see, your body doesn't make melatonin out of nowhere. It starts with serotonin, the same chemical that lifts your mood during the day. At night, serotonin becomes the raw ingredient your brain uses to build melatonin. That's where kiwi comes in. Green kiwi, in particular, is rich in serotonin precursors, folate, and vitamin C, nutrients that feed that pathway. When you eat it an hour before bed, you're giving your body the pieces it needs to start that conversion smoothly. A clinical study from the Taiwan University Sleep Research Center asked adults with mild insomnia to eat 2 kiwis every night for 4 weeks. The results surprised everyone. They fell asleep 42% faster, slept nearly 1 hour longer, and woke up fewer times in the night. No medication, just kiwi. But why does it work so well for people over 60? Because aging often blunts serotonin during the day. Less sunlight exposure, Less activity, smaller meals. That means less raw material for melatonin at night. Kiwi quietly fills that gap, giving your brain a natural way to start the process again. I once had a patient, Mrs. Hall, 68, who told me, "Doc, I can fall asleep fine, but I wake up just when the house goes silent." She was tired of pills that made her groggy. I suggested something simple: one kiwi after dinner, another right before bed. 2 weeks later, she called and said, "I don't know what changed, but I wake up at sunrise again, not at 2 a.m. That's what rhythm feels like when it starts to return. Kiwi also has another gentle advantage. It calms the nervous system. Its vitamin C helps lower oxidative stress, the kind that builds from long days and little rest. Less stress on your cells means less noise in your nerves. That translates to slower breathing, steadier heartbeat, and smoother entry into deep sleep. Now, a few practical notes. Eat 1 or 2 kiwis, ideally the green variety. Gold kiwi has more sugar and less serotonin, so keep it for daytime. If you can, eat the skin. It's full of fiber and extra antioxidants, and once you rinse it, it's perfectly safe. No need to overthink timing. Just within an hour before bed is fine. Some people like it plain, others slice it into a bowl with a spoon of yogurt. Both work beautifully. Just avoid pairing it with heavy or oily foods. The goal here is light nourishment, not fullness. You may not notice a miracle the first night, but after a week or two, you'll likely find you fall asleep faster, and those middle-of-the-night wake-ups start to fade. That's your serotonin and melatonin talking again. The conversation your body had forgotten. Because sleep isn't something you fight for, it's something you prepare for. And kiwi helps you begin that preparation. A small, sweet signal that says, it's time to rest. Once that first signal is restored, the next step is keeping it steady. Because for many people over 60, the real challenge isn't falling asleep, it's staying asleep. That's where our next food comes in. Just a few small bites can help your body hold the rhythm it works so hard to find. Number 3, walnuts, the melatonin keeper. Most people think nuts are too heavy before bed, too much fat, too much crunch, too much for the stomach. But walnuts are different. They're light, rich in calming fats, and one of the few natural foods that carry melatonin within them. If kiwi starts the signal, walnuts help it last, holding your body's rhythm through the night. They refill what age often reduces, that steady trickle of melatonin your brain once made easily. A few walnut halves quietly reinforce that message. It's night, you're safe, stay resting. Beyond melatonin, walnuts bring something extra. Omega-3 fatty acids, the healthy fats your brain loves. They help reduce inflammation and keep blood vessels open, so oxygen and nutrients keep flowing while you sleep. When blood moves easily, the brain stays calm, and the body doesn't have to keep checking for danger. That's what staying asleep truly means. Safety restored at the cellular level. A study published in the Nutrition Journal followed older adults who added a small handful of walnuts to their evenings. After 3 weeks, their melatonin levels tripled, and they spent nearly 40 more minutes in deep restorative sleep. They didn't sleep longer. They slept better. I remember Mr. Gaines, 72, who once described his nights as 3 naps in a row. He fell asleep easily, but woke every hour and a half, thinking it was his bladder. We tried something simple: 5 walnut halves and a few sips of warm water before bed. No new rules, no pills. 2 weeks later, he said with a small smile, "Doc, I finally slept from dark to daylight." That's what balance feels like. Not drugged, not heavy, just peaceful. Walnuts also bring magnesium, a mineral that helps muscles release tension and nerves quiet down. If you've ever felt your legs twitch at night, that's often a magnesium shortage. So in one handful, you're calming both the brain and the body. Here's what works best. Take 5 to 7 walnut halves, unsalted and raw if possible, about 45 to 60 minutes before bed. If plain nuts feel dry, pair them with a spoon of Greek yogurt or a few slices of kiwi, a gentle partnership of serotonin and melatonin in one bowl. Avoid sugary or salted nuts. The goal is calm, not stimulation. Within a week or two, most people notice the same change. Fewer wake-ups, quieter transitions, mornings that feel steady instead of sluggish. Because deep sleep isn't about more hours, it's about smoother rhythm. Walnuts help your body remember that rhythm, keeping your night chemistry balanced the way it once was. And once your hormones and nerves have settled, there's one system left to care for: the liver, your overnight fuel tank. Your body can stay calm, your hormones can stay balanced. But if your fuel runs out, even the best rhythm won't last until morning. That's why the next food matters. It's not about sedating your brain, it's about quietly feeding it. Number 2, oats with honey, the nighttime fuel. After 60, many people wake around 2 or 3 a.m. for one simple reason: the brain runs low on energy. Through the night, your liver releases stored sugar, glucose, to keep your brain supplied. But as we age, that storage tank shrinks. When it runs low, the brain sends out an alarm: wake up and refuel. Your heart beats faster, your body warms, and you think it's morning, but it's not. It's just a hungry brain asking for balance. That's why a small, smart bedtime snack can make such a difference. Not a heavy meal, not dessert, but something slow and steady that keeps your blood sugar from dipping too early. And that's exactly what oats with a touch of honey do best. Oats are rich in beta-glucan, a soluble fiber that slows digestion and releases glucose gradually through the night. They also contain B vitamins and magnesium, both essential for calming your nervous system and preventing that middle-of-the-night cortisol surge. Honey adds a small natural dose of sugar, just enough to refill liver glycogen before bed, not enough to spike it. Together, they keep the body gently fueled until sunrise. A clinical study from the University of Sydney found that a low glycemic evening snack, like oats or whole grains, reduced nighttime cortisol spikes by over 30% and helped participants sleep longer and wake with steadier energy. It works because when blood sugar stays stable, stress hormones stay quiet. I remember Marjorie, 70, who told me, "Doc, I never wake to use the bathroom. I wake because I feel alert at 3 a.m." Her evenings were clean: early dinner, herbal tea, no snack. We added something small: half a cup of warm oats with a drizzle of honey before bed. 3 nights later, she called and said, "I slept till morning, and I didn't even need coffee right away." Her body wasn't restless. It was simply running out of fuel too soon. Here's how to make it work for you. Prepare a small portion, about half a cup of cooked oats, warm and soft. Add 1 teaspoon of raw or manuka honey. It dissolves slowly and supports digestion. If you like, sprinkle cinnamon or crushed walnuts for flavor and extra balance. Avoid instant oats with added sugar. The goal is slow release, not a sugar rush. Eat it 30 to 60 minutes before bed. You should feel comforted, not full. That gentle warmth in your stomach sends a message of safety, helping your nervous system relax even more. If you're monitoring blood sugar, start with a few spoonfuls and adjust from there. And if you take evening medications, check with your doctor. This isn't a replacement, it's a rhythm support. After a week or two, many people notice that familiar 2 a.m. wake-up quietly disappears. The body sleeps through because the brain stays fed. And when you wake at sunrise, it feels different, clearer, calmer, like your night finally carried you all the way through. Because sleep isn't just rest, it's repair. And repair needs quiet energy. Oats and honey give your body that: a slow, steady fuel that keeps every cell working until morning. Now that your energy is stable and your rhythm restored, there's one final step: a food that seals the night completely, soothing muscles, easing inflammation, and letting your body exhale. After a long day, your body doesn't just need sleep, it needs release. That gentle unwinding when the tension in your shoulders fades and your breathing finds a slower rhythm. For that final step, one small, deep red fruit does more than almost any supplement. Your hormones are steady now. Your fuel is calm. All that's left is to remind your inner clock that night has truly arrived. A gentle cue, not a command. Number 1, red grapes, the skin deep sleep signal. For years, many of my patients avoided fruit after dinner. Too much sugar, they'd say. But what matters most at night isn't the sugar, it's what travels with it. And in red grapes, nature hides a small miracle inside the skin. Those deep ruby skins carry melatonin, the same hormone your brain releases to close the day, and resveratrol, a quiet protector that keeps your body's clock, your circadian rhythm, ticking in time. When that rhythm drifts with age, a handful of red grapes can whisper it back into tune. In one study from the University of Milan, older adults who added red grapes to their evening meals showed a measurable rise in natural melatonin within a week. Their sleep became smoother, not longer. They slipped into rest more easily and woke less often. No pills, no sedatives. Just the rhythm of food and chemistry meeting halfway. I remember Mrs. Alvarez, 71, who once told me, "I fall asleep fine, but it's as if my body sets an alarm for 2 a.m." We added 12 red grapes after dinner. Not dessert, a signal. A week later she laughed, "I still wake sometimes, but I drift right back." That's what recovery feels like. Not silence, but ease. Why red, not green? Because the color tells the story. The darker the grape, the more anthocyanins, plant pigments that calm tiny vessels, reduce inflammation, and help muscles relax. While your brain makes melatonin, these pigments help your tissues listen to it. It's a duet, signal and receiver, chemistry, and calm. Here's what's happening behind that sweetness. The mild sugar in grapes keeps your liver supplied with just enough energy so cortisol, the alert hormone, stays quiet. Meanwhile, melatonin from the skins enters the bloodstream, reinforcing the body's own pulse of night. Together, they create what I call the soft landing, the hour when the mind loosens its grip and the body begins to trust rest again. You don't need many, 8 to 10 red or purple grapes, skin on, about 45 minutes before bed. Let them sit at room temperature. The cool burst from the fridge can startle digestion. If you like, pair them with a spoonful of yogurt or a few walnut halves. The proteins slow absorption and stretch the calm through the night. It's not dessert, it's direction. Give it a few evenings. You'll likely notice you drift sooner, and when you wake, you settle faster. Your heartbeat feels slower, your breathing deeper, as if the night itself has turned down the lights inside you. Because sleep is never one switch, it's a sequence. Kiwi helps you begin the song. Walnuts keep the melody. Oats and honey carry the rhythm. And red grapes, through their skins, remind your body when the music ends. When these four foods work together, they rebuild more than sleep. They rebuild trust between your body and time itself. Every bite before bed becomes a message. It's safe to rest now. And when you listen, the body listens back. In a moment, I'll show you how to turn these ideas into a gentle nightly rhythm. Something you can begin tonight without fear or effort. Because your body remembers sleep. It only needs the right nourishment to find it again. Each of these four foods repairs one small part of the rhythm you were born with. Kiwi helps the brain begin its night signal. Walnuts hold that signal steady. Oats and honey feed it gently until dawn. And red grapes, they tell your inner clock, you've made it through another day. It's time to rest. You don't need all four every night. Just choose one that feels right. The magic isn't in quantity, it's in consistency. When the body hears the same cue at the same hour, it remembers. That's how rhythm is rebuilt. Not through force, but through familiarity. Picture this for a moment. The dishes are done. The television is softer now. You pour a small bowl of oats, or rinse a few grapes, or slice a kiwi under the warm kitchen light. You're not feeding hunger, you're feeding rhythm. Your body recognizes this moment, the same way it recognizes sunrise. And in that recognition, chemistry begins to shift. The pulse slows, the mind quiets. You breathe out, and your muscles let go. That's the point of this whole ritual. To remind you that sleep isn't lost with age. It's simply waiting for a signal. When you give your body that signal, night after night, it finds its way back to you. I've watched this happen for decades. Men and women who once feared the clock now waking at dawn with calm hearts and steady energy. They didn't change who they were. They changed how they listen. And that's something anyone can do. So tonight, try one small thing. Choose one food, one act of care, and give it 7 nights. Watch what happens around that familiar hour, 2 or 3 a.m. If you find yourself sleeping through or waking but feeling calm instead of alert, smile to yourself. That's your rhythm returning. That's your body remembering. And if this message resonates with you, if you felt hope somewhere between these words, please take a second to like, subscribe, and tell me in the comments where you're watching from. Every comment helps more older adults rediscover what you just learned. That rest isn't luxury, it's biology coming home. Because your body remembers how to sleep. It only needed the right nourishment to find it again.